Console One Mixing System now supports MIDI modules and channel and a MIDI controller mode on Fader that allows you to map third-party plugins, virtual instruments, and even external hardware MIDI devices. Let's take a look at this new feature. To get started using Channel's new MIDI features, let's turn on our on-screen display. Hold Load Strip Section and select the section where you want to load the MIDI module. I'm going to place it in the first slot of the shape section. I'll scroll down and select MIDI CC. Then, I'll select the first one, which is 0 to 7. Let's turn on that section, and we can see I have 4 MIDI CC controls mapped. And by holding Shift, I have access to 4 more. I'll close the OSD, and as you can see, I have Soothe 2 loaded up. I'll move my depth knob. Now, each DAW does this slightly differently, but in this case, all I have to do is turn the knob on Console One channel, and we're mapped. Now, let's map sharpness. Then selectivity. And last, let's map the attack knob. Now that they're mapped, I can adjust several parameters at once using the knobs on Console One channel. Let's turn on the OSD. I'll hold Load Strip Section and select the first EQ section. I know there are parts of 0 to 25 being used in the shape section, so I'll select 26 to 51 and turn on this section. I'll close the display, and once again, I could touch a parameter and then map it to my EQ controls on this channel. Let's map the Moog EQ to 2 rows of knobs. And I'll even map my level trim. Now that I've done this, I can control several of these parameters on the EQ at once. For the last example, let's use our compressor section, and basically we will have mapped out a full channel strip. To make it super simple, I'll select the last CC range since I know this isn't being used. Now let's map decapitator to channel. I'll map drive, output, tone, and mix. Now I have all of those parameters available at my fingertips. And even better is that I could control 3 totally different third-party products at once right from these 3 MIDI modules. To get Console One Fader into MIDI mode, it's a bit different. Hold Shift and hit Function Mode. We can see there's a Fader MIDI controller mode. We want it toggled to all. If it is set to none, hold Shift and hit OK. Then select this mode. You can see all of our MIDI CC controls on the screens. And we can bank to access even more CC controls. Let's map out the GeForce Oddity 3 sliders to Fader sliders. And now we can have control over the synth sliders. Of course, for many people, they see faders and they think about organ drawbars. Just like a synth, we can map these drawbars to our faders to get control. But we can also map things such as our preamp drive or master volume knobs to a fader. Even the rocking switches on the organ could be mapped to a fader to give us customized control over our virtual instrument, whether it's a rotary knob, switch, or a drawbar. And now you could control effects such as Softube Czar. Just touch a control, map it, and do the same for each of your controls. And now, just like a hardware reverb controller, we now have complete control over Czar, just like we did in the old days with our hardware reverbs. Download the latest update to add MIDI control to Console One Mixing System today.